Want to learn about cockatiel and budgie night frights? Watch this video to find out all about them. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am David and today we are talking about cockatiel and budgie night frights. Now, night frights are a very common problem for cockatiels and budgies, and it can be very stressful for them and for us. I did a video about them a while back, but I thought it was really high time to do an updated video with the most up-to-date tips and our experiences with them. Now, some of you may be wondering what a night fright actually is. A night fright is where your cockatiel or budgie or multiples start flapping around randomly in the night, potentially harming themselves and panicking over something that doesn't seem like it seems like there's no reason for it. This can go on, it can cause serious harm to your cockatiel or budgie. They can tear wing feathers out, they can feather blast, which is where they'll eject feathers to escape prey. They can become highly stressed or even minorly injure themselves by bruising noses. We've experienced it a few times with our cockatiels, and I know a lot of people experience this problem, so I felt, again, this video was very much needed to help people know what to do, what causes them, and how to prevent it in the first place. Now, there are some causes of night frights that are unknown. There are some things that we just don't know about which trigger them. However, there are quite a few that we are aware of and that people have experienced and added their knowledge to help others. The very first one is genetics. They are predisposed to night frights because they live in giant flocks, they have to be reactive, they have to escape predators. And while most of the predators will hunt them during the day, they do have some nighttime hunting predators, so they will have to be reactive and basically escape, and this transfers onto them in our home environment as well. So do keep that in mind, there is a genetic predisposition, but again, you do have individual variances. I know people who have cockatiels and budgies who have never experienced one. I know people who have them occasionally like us. I know people who have them frequently. So do be aware that it does vary as well. Now, one of the most common triggers of night frights are unknown or sudden noises in the night. This could be something like a clap of thunder, it could be something shifting like a bit of furniture, something that they don't know about that suddenly happens and they're like, oh goodness, I need to panic. So do be aware of these noises because they are a very common trigger. Similarly, light patterns can do it as well. Sudden flashes of light, sudden sparks of light, reflections in the light, especially if you've got like a door open or there's cars going by, that can also be an issue as well, especially if it's coupled with a sudden noise. And that brings me to another topic. Complete darkness can be a trigger for night frights. Because it's complete darkness and your bird doesn't know what's going on because maybe they're covered or maybe the room is just completely dark, they don't know what that stimulus is. If they could see the stimulus, they'd be like, oh okay, it's just a bit of furniture shifting. If they can't see it, it's complete darkness, that can be an issue for them. And yet again, another common cause of night fright is changes to the environment before bedtime. Say for example, you've shifted furniture around, you've made changes to their environment not long before they've gone to bed and they haven't had time to get used to it. During the night, something can shift, that can be scary as well. So before I look at preventative measures, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what you should do when a night fright happens, because this is really important to prevent injury to your bird and to make sure they stay nice and safe. Now, if a night fright does happen, the very first thing to do is intervene quickly. Some people recommend leaving it, really does not work, it's a terrible idea. Do not leave it, intervene quickly, walk in, turn the light on, don't start going in there shushing them in the darkness or waving around, that's going to be even scarier. Turn the light on and then stand next to their cage and just quietly calm them. Try and shush them then, make calming sounds, relax them as much as you can. Do not open that door straight away because they may come straight out that door and start panicking even further. Just come in there, turn the light on, wait for them to calm down and then start assessing if they had any injuries. Are there any feathers that have been ejected forcibly? Have they grazed themselves? Have they caused a blood feather to come loose? Then assess things calmly. Once they've calmed down a bit, then you can do some first aid treatment or assess them carefully. I have a video on first aid I'll leave a link for now. It's a bit of an older one. Sophie also has a great one on her channel. I will be updating it coming up. But yeah, again, just to repeat, it's really important. Intervene quickly, light on, don't get them straight out, be calm and let them relax. Once they've calmed down, then you can get them out and assess them for any injuries and start comforting them by petting them. It's really important not to get them out straight away because this really does cause problems for a lot of people. Now luckily, there are quite a few things that we can do to prevent night frights or at least mitigate their effects. And a lot of people like to get a pet cam or a monitor because it allows them to react quicker, especially if they're elsewhere in the house and they can't always hear it. Just be able to react quickly can save your bird a lot of injury, a potential trip to the vet, or have any other issues of stress, and basically even fueling night frights in the future, because if they carry on going, they feel there's actual danger when there may not necessarily be. So being able to see them and intervene is really helpful. Not keeping them in complete darkness is also very helpful. Now we recommend darkness for sleeping to have a natural light pattern for them, but just having a small dim night light on the floor, or we have a little chick light. I'll leave you can go to my Amazon store to find out. I'll leave a little link somewhere so you can see it directly, just to provide dim light, because if you think about it, in the wild it would not be completely pitch black. There'd be moonlight, maybe some starlight, some ambient light. We want to imitate that for them in our environment, so they can still sleep comfortably because it's dark enough, but they can also see if something does shift. So if something does shift, they can be like, oh, okay, it's just something moving, it's nothing to worry about because I can see it, I don't have to panic about it. Leading on from the causes, no changes right before bedtime if you can avoid it. Make sure that they have no massive changes to their cage or no furniture shifting right before bedtime, because that could potentially cause a night fright, because if something's out of place and it's scary and they don't know what's happened with it. It's also worth working on desensitization training. I'll leave a card for that now with your parrot or cockatiel budgie, because the more desensitized they are to various stimuli, the less likely they're going to react by flapping around and panicking. Desensitization is a really essential thing for your bird, and it's really helpful, and it can be done in many different ways in a variety of techniques. Again, it's too much to explore in this video. I'd recommend exploring it further with other videos from me and other creators. You can also provide various teas and herbs which help with calming your parrot down as well. For example, Tulsi is very good for stress. Chamomile has the same effect on us as them. Well worth exploring those options. Again, I've got videos on teas you can explore on the channel. Herbs such as mint and rosemary are also very good, and they can also have a mild calming effect. So do look at some natural dietary supplements to help maybe take the edge off any anxiety your bird's having. Now finally, I want to talk a little bit about something I've mentioned before, and that's helping your bird relax. Again, video on the channel, another card. And that is something called conditioned calm. Having a little bit of cool down time before bed really is helpful in preventing night frights. Just giving your bird maybe 20 minutes with some relaxing sounds on, so they associate these sounds with bedtime, they can get ready to roost, they can get relaxed. It really does help them an awful lot. So I'd highly recommend conditioned calm as a technique. Again, the video I just linked will explore the topic further, and that will help your bird settle down into a loose routine where they know what to expect and not get stressed. Now, night frights are scary for us and for them, and there are things we can do to prevent it, and there are, as I said, things you can do to help when it happens. Don't feel bad, just react as quickly as you can and try and prevent it as much as possible, because it may still occur. It still occurs with us occasionally, although a lot less frequently than it used to. If you have any comments or questions, I'd love to hear from you, but in the meantime, take care and see you later.